Welcome to another edition of Breaking News brought to you by Source Selection Soundbites. Today we will discuss the case of ATF Construction Company, Inc. or ATF provided by the General Accountability Office, or GAO. The agency had a requirement for repair services on their training course. The agency estimated the repairs to cost about $5,500, so they issued a solicitation to 5 contractors using simplified acquisition procedures. The closing date in the solicitation was the 10th of March. ATF was the only bid received by the closing date, but since it was 79% above the IGCE, the agency extended the due date. By the 13th of the month, the agency received a quote from Skyline for $5,197, but 3 days later it submitted a quote for $4,975. Upon receiving the updated Skyline quotation, the Army awarded the purchase order to them. Once ATF learned of the agency's actions, a protest was filed. The protester contends that the agency improperly accepted a late quotation from Skyline. Skyline's quote was non-responsive, and that the government estimate was unrealistically low since it did not include the cost of a construction platform or safety net required by applicable Occupational Safety and Health Administration safety regulations incorporated into the technical requirement. En route to finding against the contractor's accusation that it illegally received a late quotation, the GAO stated that where, as here, an RFQ does not contain a late quotation provision, but merely requests quotations by a certain date, that date is not considered to be a firm closing deadline. Consequently, they continued, so long as the award process has not begun, an agency is not precluded from considering a quotation after the suggested date. Thus, the Army's decision to extend the solicitation closing date and accept Skyline's subsequent quote is legally unobjectionable. The GAO also reviewed related accusations and found no reason to sustain the protest. Therefore, the protest was denied. Now let's address a few of the lessons learned from this protest. They include: 1. Without a late provision, the due date is not firm. 2. Without a late provision, the agency may evaluate a quotation received after the closing date as long as the award process has not begun. And 3. If the CO desires flexibility in terms of the timeliness of quotations, the CO should not include a late clause in the solicitation. In this episode of Source Selection Soundbites, we discuss the ATF case and nuances related to evaluating a quotation when a late clause does not exist in the solicitation. This concludes today's Source Selection Soundbite. If this video was helpful, hit the like and subscribe button to ensure you don't miss any new material. If you want more details on the subject, they are available on the Source Selection Answer app. It contains lectures, quizzes, court cases, sample documents, and more material that allows practitioners to quickly obtain actionable knowledge. Thanks for watching. See you next time.